Skillet Sports presents...
You're listening to The Sizzle on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television.
You know what it is. You know who it is, Facebook. Everybody all over the world. Instagram, Facebook. Look, it's November. Yeah, I'm calling out all the mediums. Anchor, I'm calling out everybody. Spotify, you know who it is. You know what it is. It's The Sizzle here on Iron Skillet Television, Iron Skillet Radio. You know who's in the building. I'm G Sizzle, but he's J Sizzle. What's going on, Jay?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. I can't believe it was Candy Day. I got Snickers bars everywhere.
You got Snicker bar everywhere?
I wasn't giving them out to none of the kids. I was gonna get shoe away from kids, shoe away from here. And I just had candy. I didn't get the candy corn. I don't like that. But I got Snickers bars. I used to get the Heath Toffee bars, but they get stuck in my teeth, so I don't do those no more. But I'm a happy, full-size Snickers bar type of guy.
Okay, so you're a full-size guy, not a mini.
Oh, no mini. Do you know how many mini Snickers bars I got to open up to get to one big size? I look like Hansel and Gretel walking down the street. I got Snickers bars. Yeah. Rappers just follow me everywhere. I couldn't even do a crime. All they do is say, follow the Snickers bar, follow the Snickers bar. That's what I be on the first paper. 48. You'll find me.
Yep. Follow the paper. Yeah. Well, since it was Halloween, welcome to November, everyone. If you had a wonderful Halloween, we hope that you were safe. We hope that you were social distancing, and we hope that your costume even had a mask. But if it did not, let's give you a scary recap of what may have happened. Let me tell you about the scariness at Soldier Field.
Let's hide in the attic.
No, in the basement. Why can't we just get in the running car?
Jay, why can't you get in the running car? Why can't you just make an offense work? Why does it have to be like this every week? Why does David Montgomery almost have to give his life to make it work? What is going on? Why are they doing this? Jay, please tell me what's happening with the Chicago Bears.
Because you got Mo, Larry, and Curly playing offensive line. Look, they got the water boy out there. I think they only have all four of their starters were out of the game. You had guys off the practice squad playing. I had never heard none of these guys before. I'm like, who is that guy? But here's the funny part about this. They didn't do too bad. I mean, it wasn't horrific. It was horrific before, but it wasn't actually horrific. But actually, they didn't play too bad. I mean, comparatively speaking, Nick Foles was running for his life, but he did have a chance to get off some throws, actually hit some long balls, and they were in contention most of the night. So, and they look, for a Bears football game, when they were down 10 points, I thought it was going to be over, but you also saw a team who actually came back again. So this actually was enjoyable football.
The funny part was it wasn't a bad game. Even though the Bears lost 26-23 to the Saints in overtime, they lost on a field goal. But let me tell you, if you didn't watch the game, you got to see a few things that Jay Sizzle's been telling you about. The line was horrific. I mean, it was really bad. But the right tackle went out, and so did the left guard.
Yeah, they were falling like flies. Dude, when I saw, I think, who's it, Massey went out? Yeah, when Massey went out, laid out on the ground, I was like, oh, Lord, who they suiting up now? I mean, what are you going to have to go bring in Bortz from off the score and have him go out there and go, look, I have never seen an attrition rate like this in an offensive line since I can remember. I mean, they weren't good from the beginning, and now it's just like you can't even blame them at this point. Right now. Right. You can't even blame them. If they can get five guys who can stand upright and maybe stick their hands out for pass protection, then you get what you get. You get what you get at this point in time. I mean, it's just we now understand the great teams out here, and even the Patriots are struggling right now, but. You see the great teams out here, they invest into their offensive lines. They make sure they have solid backups. We don't know if these guys are solid backups or not, but now you're actually playing guys who would not be on the NFL roster.
Right? You're so right about that. So let's look into some of the numbers. Let's get into what you like to see.
You like that? You like that?
All right, so you had a Nick Foles who was 28 for 41 for 272 yards and 2 TDs with 1 interception. You had David Montgomery run for 89 yards and Allen Robinson caught for 87 yards and 1 touchdown. So not a bad day. There are some issues. There are a lot of things that we can talk about, and we are going to talk about for the next 30, 40 minutes. We're going to talk about, number one, what's going on with the tight ends. That I think that because we already covered the line last week. So we got to talk about, number one, what's going on with the tight ends. Number two, where did Mitchell Trubisky come from? And number three, how do you solve the offensive line? So Jay, let's start it off. Number one, what do we make of what's going on now with these tight end group? You've got 3 tight ends, and they're distinctly different tight ends.
Yeah.
One is truly a blocker. Demetrius Harris is really out there as a moving offensive lineman. Then you've got your rookie, who is a true pass catcher, who seems to be the younger version of the veteran that you brought in to be the goal line champion.
Yeah.
That doesn't get really a lot of looks at the goal line now since about week 4.
Uh-huh.
So let's figure out what's going on. Let's start with Jimmy Graham. What's going on right now with Jimmy Graham?
Jimmy Graham needs to run his routes all the way through. That's what he needs to do. That's the first thing. He comes out of his breaks and he starts gearing it down because he thinks the ball's not coming to him. He needs to keep working for separation. You saw a number of times Nick Foles wanted to go to him, and Jimmy Graham is literally throttling down on his routes when he's coming out of his break. Either he just doesn't believe the ball's coming to him because they don't feature the tight ends in this offense. This is a Matt Nagy scheme problem. This is what this is. He wants to push the ball vertically down the field, but you need stalwart offensive linemen, Pro Bowl offensive linemen to be able to do that. You don't have that. Now you got to start working the middle of the field. You got to get the ball out fast, and he still hasn't adjusted. I really believe what's going on with the tight ends is that you have an offensive coordinator / head coach / knucklehead who believes that the only way to do and play offensive football is what's in his 385-page binder. He's not a guy who will adjust to what's going on. And I got a reason for that. I have a real reason for that. I think I understand why they don't adjust. Once they learn an offensive system, because there's so many moving parts in an offensive system, you have everything, every offensive play in the playbook is designed by timing. It's all designed by footwork. You have to be at a certain place at a certain time for a seam to open up. You have to, the quarterbacks will either be at a 3-step drop, a 5-step drop. We know that when they're running smash concepts up there, the ball's going to be thrown to an area and not exactly to the receiver himself. You're throwing the ball to an area. So I think what's happening is that once these guys understand their offensive game plan, it takes too long to figure out a new one, because now you have to start from square one and rebuild the entire offense, because all the steps, everything is orchestrated for the ball to get out of the quarterback's hands into that wide receiver's hand at a certain point on the field at a certain time. So now to revamp the offense, you must go back, like I said, to square one, tear down everything else, and now the offensive line sets have to be different. Their footwork have to be different. The blocking schemes are different. How the running back releases out of the backfield, what depth. Is it 3 yards on the dead on the release now, or is he swing pass it out to 4 yards? That makes a huge difference. How the wheel route is run. And so the whole, where are the sleds? Are the sleds run from 8 yards outside the tight end, or they run from 6 yards outside the tight end? Makes a huge difference on what's going to be thrown. That's why I think you see a Matt Nagy right now who refuses to change his offensive philosophy because he has nowhere else to go. And so getting back to the original question is that why are the tight ends not being utilized in his offense? Because they never were going to be utilized in his offense. He had a situation. That's why you had 9 or 10 tight ends, that tight end school bus they were running through here the last 2 years. What, he had like 57 tight ends on the roster at
Something
one point
like
in time?
Right.
And then
it was worse than Baskin Robbins. You
Right.
had 31 flavors.
Yeah, and you still had to go get an aging Jimmy Graham to be your number one tight end because you couldn't develop one in-house. That's what the whole thing. I think you see a man, Matt Nagy, for whatever reason, is stuck in his own matrix.
And didn't Trey Burton just make history today? Didn't he do something like I want to say this was the first tight end that's been able to rush in and catch a touchdown in consecutive weeks. It was something that made you think, well, if Trey Burton could do that in Indianapolis, what was the problem here then with Chicago?
Exactly right. And so what I'm saying to you is that it's not a problem with personnel, it's a problem with scheme. And you see a Trey Burton doing better in another area right now. So you got to ask yourself a question now. And I know we're getting off script just a little bit, but let's look at Mitchell Trubisky for a second. Is it Mitch's fault that he's not flourishing in this offense? Or is this a Matt Nagy problem that he decided to hang on Mitchell Trubisky when he should have moved him and brought in a quarterback who fit his scheme a la a Nick Foles, but a Nick Foles who is flat-footed out here who can't escape. And so now you see a offense who is hindered now because you have a guy running the offense who knows it in his mind, but his feet can't execute where they're supposed to be. And you actually saw Nick Foles today throw a lot of passes off his back foot. Well, that's because he had defensive linemen sitting in his lap. But again, this is a Matt Nagy problem. Until they move Matt Nagy or they do some super duper trading and some horse trading to get some different ball players in here, I think this is the Bears offense that you're going to see, and you're going to waste a great Bears defense, and it's just going to be sadness from here on out.
Well, let's talk about that because that transitions us into the second point. We talked about Mitchell Trubisky, and we've all talked about it. Any Bears fan, anyone who's observed the Bears, anyone who's ever watched their games, if you've done a game, you've called their games, you've talked about him on the internet, you know who Mitchell Trubisky is. You know what he is. You know what he's not. You know he's not Patrick Mahomes. You know that he's not Deshaun Watson. You know that he's not Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry.
SIZZLE, why? You said you weren't going to hurt me like this anymore. You said if we got back together, you wouldn't treat me like this. And now, and then you just hurt me like this. Why?
It was that passive-aggressive thing because I missed you last week, and we couldn't do a lot what we needed to do, and that is talk about how terrible this situation is. So the question is now, is it really Mitch's fault? Really, has Mitch been developed? Because we saw Mitch come in for a wildcat RPO. If you don't know what a run play option is, a run pass option, that's what an RPO is. But is this really Mitch's fault? Is Mitch, and how can you blame someone for their own development in someone else's scheme? But is Mitch to blame, or more so, to your point, is this more a Nagy thing where you're talking about bad offensive schemes that put Mitch in bad positions?
Well, here's the first thing, and I said this before, and I've said this a number of times to go back. It's not Mitch's fault that he got drafted number 2 overall, right?
True.
It's not Mitch's fault that he's the athlete. Mitch is a great athlete. He can run. He can throw it. It might not exactly.
You know what?
Yeah.
There was a play where Troy Aikman called it, and you know what? I like Joe Buck and I like Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
Especially when I want to hear Troy Aikman because you want to hear a quarterback who was at a high level as he dissects a game. But he made that exact point that you just said, that there was a point where Nick Foles could have run and picked up the first down.
Absolutely correct.
Lane was open, but he can't. His wheels, as you said, his feet just won't let him do it. Right. Now, Mitch would have made that first down.
Oh, without doubt. And that, when we saw Mitch, when Mitch was dynamic Mitch last year for 3 or 4 games, we saw him reading half the field, using his legs. Now he was a dual threat. Those linebackers just couldn't bail out of there. They actually had to pay attention. Somebody had to spot Nick. If not, Nick was going to go run. He would have ran on you for 30 yards. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. He'd have ran on you for 30 yards. So now the issue is that you got a guy who has been put in a position that's untenable. That because he can't read and understand this offense like Matt Nagy wants him to understand the offense, then now he's been handicapped. And so because of that handicap, they've taken Mitchell Trubisky and put him in a position to fail. Now, would he have failed anyway? Possibly. But they really put him in a position to fail. They knew he was going to fail this year. They should have moved Mitchell Trubisky at the end of last year. They knew he wasn't ready, and he went out here because they were worried about this, especially with this COVID thing was going on, this cut down on what Nick Foles could do. But this is the reason why you saw a Nick Foles come in who understood the offense, but who had never ran the offense under Matt Nagy. And you saw Nick Foles last week or last week and a half ago who actually called out Matt Nagy and said, this guy he's sending in plays that I know we don't have time to run. And so you actually saw him a couple of weeks ago when he actually went to Matt Nagy on the sidelines and said, look, when I want to run a hurry-up offense, you need to let me run this hurry-up offense because I have these guys on the run. You coming out here with your magic tricks, look over here, you got smoke and mirrors, and I got these guys on the run. So now you're actually starting to see, I know, don't look over here. Do not look at the man behind the curtain. But now you have a Nick Foles who's saying, hey, I don't have any allegiance to Nagy. I don't have allegiance to Nagy. And I'm letting you know it ain't my fault. It's somebody else's fault over here. And let me tell you whose fault it is. It's that guy over there who doesn't understand because he hasn't been under fire out here in the NFL. I think he was a Arena League quarterback.
That's shots, bro. That, you know what? That's shots.
No. You don't want me to go much further.
You are taking shots. You're saying, hey, look, Arena League boy, this is what I do. I'm a professional, and I'm under fire because you've got a Troy Aikman saying, look, he's getting gun shy back there. Oh. The last thing you want to hear anybody say is now that your quarterback is seeing ghosts. He's hearing footsteps. It's getting bad for him because every time he looks up, you got somebody sitting in your lap.
Yeah.
And that's really what's happening. I don't know, Jay. I think Nick Foles could be a better quarterback with a little time, just a little time. He doesn't have the greatest arm. No, he does not. He's not going to throw it 80 yards. But you see when he was given just a little time, you can make a 59-yard pass. You can make these receptions. You can go downfield if you give him a little time to set his feet and at least just step into the throw. Just make it go downfield instead of making it go wherever he's going. Poor baby. He looks like he's out there swimming.
Right. And the thing is that when you see a Nick Foles dropping back, right, the first thing he's looking at is not downfield. The first thing he's looking at is who's coming at him. And here, let me tell you what the scary thing about Nick Foles is. This is a professional quarterback who was an MVP. All right? Let's get this understood now. This guy holds records in the National Football League. This Nick Foles is no joke. And this guy, being a professional quarterback, he sees the rush coming from the outside, and he does not try to escape up inside the pocket. That's a problem because he knows that pocket's collapsing in the middle, and there's nowhere for him to go.
He did that twice. Really, he did that twice today, and it was amazing. He could have stepped into the pocket. If you just step up a little bit, he might have been able to make the completion, but a fearing. And the sad part was at this point, but I guess you're so gun-shy, the line was really holding this game. It was doing, I mean, it wasn't great. It was not great. Let me say there was a 3rd and 8 play where I don't know. The end just came in and started slapping people. It was terrible. It was horrendous. But I'm beginning to wonder, and we talked about it, and we just talked about it. when you've got a Mitchell Trubisky, you've got Nick Foles, even when you think about their running back situation, because we're not even going to talk about the fact that Cordero Patterson is still running the ball.
Why?
Like,
why? Why
I don't
is he still doing
understand
that?
why he's still rushing.
Why is he running the football? He is not Eric Dickerson. He's not Eric Dickerson. He's not Billy Sims. He's not any of these people. He's none of these people. Did he play running back in college?
No.
No.
He's a receiver.
So why do we continue to line him up back there? Why? I don't understand it.
For the same reason why, if you got an offensive genius, why is it he can't figure out how to do drag, swings? He doesn't do anything that's been done against him for the past 3 weeks, especially.
But,
you saw the Saints do it. You saw the Rams do it. You see teams now using the offense to stop the defense.
Because he has his offensive system that he knows, and that's all he believes in. And that's all. Look, for all you all sit out there, Matt Nagy's going to have an epiphany all of a sudden, and all of a sudden they're going to gear this thing down, and they're going to start throwing it to the tight ends, and they're going to start looking like the old 49ers way back in the day with Joe Montana. If you think this offense is going to look like that, no, it's not going to happen. You saw today a Nick Foles pushing the ball downfield. He did hit a couple of long throws, but you also saw a couple of long throws come in trying to split the safety, and the safety was coming in over the top, and had the ball been anywhere near the wide receiver, that ball would have been intercepted. Mm-hmm. So, and speaking of interceptions, I know we haven't talked about the defense yet, but number 39 for the Chicago Bears, you have to come down with that interception. You undercut that interception. You needed to the Bears defense needed to score a touchdown. It was sitting there waiting for. I know we'll talk about that later. But we got when those opportunities come up because of an offense like this. Here's the scary part about the Bears, right? If they miss an opportunity, they're not going to win. If they miss a opportunity, they're not going to win.
Right. You can send out Javon Williams. You can send him out to give a player a 2-piece and a biscuit. But I don't think that's going to help your cause. I mean, my man, it was like Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Because he was like, ding, 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 ding.
He was giving him the business, wasn't he?
He was giving that boy the business. And the sad part was the boy didn't even know he was getting the business given to him. He was just like, wow, I didn't. What? Oh, you're hitting me. What is going on here? And
I'm sorry, sir. I do have this massive thing on my head, which is called a helmet. So I don't know why you're punching me upside my head with your hands, with the thing that you make money with. You're punching me with the thing that you make money with. So you can hit me in the head all you want to. But he was serving him up a 2-piece with a biscuit and a pack of honey.
He gave it to him. And then his teammates took him to their sideline and they gave it to him. Oh, you know what it was?
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
He was getting a business given to him on that sideline. That defense jumped on him like he came in there and stole some candy bars from the little bucket. It was supposed to be the community bucket, but it really wasn't a community bucket. It was just for everybody that wanted the big candy bar.
It's all the gangsters, man. You know what it is? It's all the gangsters out here.
Gangster.
All the rappers want to be athletes, and all the athletes want to be rappers. I'm pretty sure Wims is going to come out with his own mixtape pretty soon.
You know who had just came out with, not just, but you know who came out with an album last week?
Who?
Or last month, I'm sorry.
Who?
Denzel Valentine. You know it, buddy. Denzel got that flow. He got that flow.
Say it's not true. Say it's not true. You're joshing me extensively right now.
Is this the play with you face?
Denzel Valentine. So he's rapping about how nice it is to be able to order room service.
Yes, he's showing you what his condo looks like in Chicago. Because look, he has the best job in the city, dog.
Oh, I know.
He goes and doesn't play and gets paid And then when he goes out to play, he gets injured. Then he has to rehab, so he's still going to get paid, and then he can make his rap out.
You know what? He must be a really phenomenal practice player.
He is. He is. He has to be. I mean, he and Pro Tools, they sat down. He made an album, and if I'm correct, this is his second single. Yeah.
You mean he had another one?
Yeah, he had one. Listen, when you watch Mike's and Men, of Mike's and Men, we're going to talk about Denzel Valentine and the skill that it takes to be not only an MC, but a sharpshooter, and to be one of the most popular people in the city of Chicago.
And one of the things we're going to do on Mike's and Men, people don't realize, we're actually going to reach out to the people that we're talking to. We're actually going to, we're going to get a Denzel Valentine on. We want to get these guys on and say, hey, man, what are you doing? How are you doing this? Because it's fantastic. The space you've carved out for yourself is just fantastic.
Well, the space, the defense for the Bulls and for the Bears. The Bears defense is at least good. The Bulls defense suck. But they still have Denzel Valentine. He's a good defender.
You know what? And as long as we got Denzel Valentine, there's always a chance.
In Valentine, we trust.
Wow.
But in the Bears secondary, I do not trust that they are seriously thinking about getting interceptions. This is the third week in a row that the Bears defense has left at least 2 interceptions on the field.
You got to get them.
Not doing their part. Jay, let me ask you quickly before we get out of here. Is the Bears defense wearing down? Are they taking too much water?
I expect to see people starting to go down here in the next couple of ball games because they're just playing too many snaps, too much rallying to the football, having to come and play desperation football at the end of games, keeping teams out of the end zone. Let me tell you how confident I am about the Bears keeping teams out the end zone. In my fantasy, you know what kicker I had for my fantasy? Mr. Lutz for the Saints.
Okay.
Because I knew the Bears were not going to let the Saints just go roughshod into the end zone, that they were going to have to kick some field goals, which he did. So the whole thing about this is that I know this is a really good defense. The problem is that the more you play these guys, every snap, unnecessary snap, that we have to play is a snap that's going to get somebody injured. I think today, they held, I don't know if I had the stat exactly correct, some amazing number. I think it was like 4 out of 15 on third downs they held New Orleans. Like New Orleans only converted 4 out of their 14 or 15 third down attempts. So what I'm saying to you is that this team played fantastic. This defense played well, but they can't keep holding on to teams and only 10 points by the half. And then you have Mitchell Trubisky, a la Nick Foles, channeling his and he's throwing the back shoulder fade to a guy who's thinking they're running a post pattern.
All right,
let me ask what's going on with that.
Okay, I asked that question about the defense because before the end of the half, you had a chance for the Bears to go in with a comfortable, sizable lead. The Bears defense gives up a touchdown in a minute and 30 seconds, somewhere in that range where you think you're not going to get this on the Bears defense, and they did. So I'm asking you, because I'm looking at the defense, and I'm saying something's wrong, something's missing. Now, there were a lot of holding penalties that were not called on the Saints. There was one near the end of the game where Kamara came off the edge. He was coming around on a sweep, and the receiver was literally hand molesting Khalil Mack. I mean, it was so egregious that I thought he was giving him a shampoo and a massage. Wow. It was that bad. Wow. He was handsy. He was really handsy.
A Naru massage.
Yes, and you've got those things going, but again, you had Akeem Hicks, who was probably a little bit more mellow. You've got Roquan Smith doing his thing. Danny Trevathan has – I'm not going to say he's lost 2 steps, but he's not doing the 1-2 step anymore. I mean, now he was running all over the field today. He was running.
Danny Trevathan brings his whole package.
He does.
He brings it all the time, and I like a guy who is not the greatest athlete, but in his mind, he plays like one.
In his mind, he's great.
Yeah,
he's a superstar.
And Danny Trevathan. Look, I'd get to a foxhole with Danny Trevathan any day of the week because he's going to keep coming and keep swinging. I like this Bears defense. I like what they keep doing. The problem is they have to keep doing it all the time. You just can't. At some point in time, you have to give these guys a chance to have a day off. I mean, you got to get up 3 touchdowns and let these guys get on cruise control. Let them put their hair back and go get after the quarterback. Just let them rush. But now you got all this cross action happening in front of them. People coming back trying to chop their legs out. All types of stuff going on right now. And you're making it difficult for this team to stay healthy. I'm surprised. Right. I'm surprised the defense is as healthy as it is right now.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. And because the offense is so inefficient, it's making other teams' defenses look amazing and phenomenal. We saw today the Dolphins jump all over the Rams. They were in Jared Goff's face. It was the game really was over for the Rams by halftime.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins defense no better than the Bears, but when you've got a offense that's not doing their part and the defense has to play 60-70% of the game, you got a recipe for disaster. And so, Jay, before we leave, I know we can't talk about you mentioned it. So changing the line isn't going to work because that means you've got to go back.
Line's already changed. Name me more than one offensive lineman for the Bears right now.
Cody Whitehair.
He ain't played. He was hurt.
Oh. Charles Leno.
Only guy you got. Massey got hurt today.
Yeah, Massey got hurt.
Come on. Give me the other ones. Can't do it.
I can't.
No, I can't do it.
I know you got one defensive tackle playing guard.
And you got one guy who's on the practice squad came in, but he's been working with Olin Cruz. Olin Cruz said this guy could actually play in the NFL.
Well, here's the thing. That line didn't look bad. I mean, there were a few times you were just like, oh, that can't be good.
Well, I mean,
they didn't look terrible. Not like last week.
No. Now, you did have the defensive tackle. They did blow a simple, and when I say simple, switch on the inside where the tackle went to the outside and then the backside end looped and came inside. You're literally taught that in 8th grade football. You pass one guy off to the next guy, you pick up the guy looping to you when you're in that. You taught that in 8th grade football. So the mere fact we can't say, look, the guard one time, I know we get a little wonky here for you guys, but the right guard, he turned and looked outside. There was nothing there on the outside. The guy, the defensive tackle went to the outside of the offensive tackle. So the guard then his head's supposed to turn back inside to see if anything's leaking. And you had a guy late fire behind him, a late blitz, blew right past him because he never looked back inside again. Simple, right? Just that. Simple stuff that you're taught when you were a freshman in high school. Yeah, right. You're supposed to look outside, hand inside, feel pressure, turn back inside if there's nothing there. Then you look back outside again. Easy, simple offensive lineman stuff that these guys can't execute.
Nope. I was just glad to see that there was a returner this game. I don't know why they haven't released some players already, but what I'm beginning to feel, Jay, is that you can't fire enough people at this point. You can't Juan Castillo, Ted Ginn. You can't fire enough people on the Bears right now, which makes me say that this is not an issue with Nagy. This is an issue that goes all the way up to Ryan Pace.
Oh, without doubt. He has let Ryan Pace pick your defensive players in the 3rd and 4th round. 3rd, 4th, 5th round, let him pick those players because he hits on them all the time. He should never pick another offensive player the rest of his entire life, ever. Because he's missed on everything. The wide receiver that never played that got his Bentley stole. What was his name? White?
Well, to his defense, and that's not funny. I'm not laughing. I am laughing.
Come on, man.
His girl did get stuck up.
We
She
in
got
Chicago.
bumped and run.
We in Chicago, bro. Number one. You need to be talking to the people. You should have called me. I would have told you. I would have told you how to work this thing out in Chicago. Number one, don't have your Bentley out here without some security. That's number one. You just can't ride around your Bentley in Chicago. Really?
You can, if you're a rapper.
Look, let me tell you something, man. How many Bentleys? We've been in Chicago all our life, in and out about there. How many Bentleys have you seen riding around on the south side of Chicago?
Very few. I mean, you can once every 6 months. I saw a Lamborghini the other day on 294.
Now, here's the issue about these cars. We all know that usually those cars don't get jacked because they can't do anything with them. You know,
right? You can't flip that.
You can't ride around a Bentley in the hood. I mean, you can't ride a Lamborghini around the hood. So you're gonna get got on that one. But the whole issue is that, you know, if you're gonna be in your Bentley, you shouldn't be in Chicago. You need to be out in those western suburbs, way out there with the nice houses. You can ride your Bentley out there, way up on the north side. You can ride your Bentley up there. You cannot ride your Bentley in and around downtown Chicago, even though there's a couple people that have them, but they're coming out, driving around the block, and they're going back in because you cannot be out here in your Bentley. You're going to get got. It's Chicago. It's a Chicago way. It is what it is. It's a Chicago way. There's a reason why the stuff's going on out here on the streets of Chicago, and everybody from Chicago or thereabouts understands the mentality of why things happen this way in Chicago. If you ain't from here, you need to ask somebody who's here. Don't go venturing around.
Don't come here with a Bentley.
Don't come. No, come on now.
Don't come here flossing.
Because you're going to get got. It's just going to happen, and they don't care. And so she got Bentley Jack. Oh man, who ran into my Bentley? You're not in Beverly Hills. You're not in Palo Alto, where you can get out your car. Everybody here knows if your car gets bumped, and if your car gets bumped out here, and you're not, and a police car is not sitting next to you in the middle of the night, you're not getting out.
Here's the thing: even if I get bumped, because I own a Bentley or Rolls, I'm not really worried about it. I have insurance. Right. I'm not getting out this car.
Right.
I'm not on my own. I'm not getting out this car.
I'm driving off and my bumper's hanging on my Bentley. I'm just gonna send it in it because if I can't get my Bentley fixed, then I should never be driving it anyway.
Yeah, I'm calling the police immediately and saying I need to make a police report. It's been a hit and run. Well, ma'am, did the person leave the scene? No, I left the scene. I'm just calling to let you know that I was hit, but I ran. That's how it worked.
People, for y'all that don't understand, in Chicago, late at night or any other nights, we don't stop at the stoplights. We roll up to the stoplights very slowly, and because we don't want to get jacked. You understand what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something, Nate. It's a rolling stop. I'd rather make a rolling stop than a dead stop. That's what I'm going to do. Right. So when I'm going down Lakeshore Drive and I come up and I'm now on the low end, I'm saying, I'm not stopping for that.
And there ain't a police officer out here in Chicago. If they see you rolling the red light at 1 o'clock in the morning, they ain't gonna stop you. Because as long as you don't blow the red light, but if you roll that red light, they ain't gonna stop you because they know why. They're gonna probably tell you, you shouldn't be stopping these red lights anyway. You know, especially
say, ma'am, I'm just pulling you because you stopped at a red light. Why? Dude, why would you do that?
I saw we have nurses. There's a certain hospital out here that you have to, you get off on 55th Street. For y'all are not familiar with Chicagoland area, you get off 55th in the Dan Ryan, and when you start going east, that area is a little bit questionable. But there's one of the greatest, just a twinkle. But there's one of the finest hospitals in the country, in the world, is located right in Hyde Park. Well, you have some fine nursing personnel that's coming from different parts of the city going through there. And I saw a poor nurse. A guy comes right there by the liquor store, right there by King Drive or College Grove. I can't remember which one it was. I want to say King Drive. And he came right over there with a brick because you stopped in traffic, broke out her back window because they know the ladies put their purses on the floor behind them, broke out the driver's side black window, reached in there and took her purse.
The moral of the story is this. It's very simple. Don't stop when you're in Chicago.
Yeah.
And if you see Matt Nagy,
Yeah.
hit him with a break.
Right. And tell him to throw the ball to the tight ends.
Dude, tell him to go find a running back, son. You're going to get David Montgomery killed. Find a offensive lineman somewhere. There are some unemployed offensive linemen somewhere.
And the issue is with David Montgomery, I think he's a good back. If you put him behind a decent offensive line, he'll go. Look, and I'm going to tell you
I don't know. You dropped a lot of balls today, bro.
Yeah, well, you know what it is, though. But the issue is that when every catch is paramount. You can't make a mistake. You know what I'm saying?
You know how bad it is when Troy Aikman says, well, it was probably a good thing he dropped that one. Yeah, he should have. You're like, wow, it's that bad, bro, that even people are watching you like, don't catch it. Lord Jesus.
Because you're about to get blasted.
Like, oh, God, don't let my baby get hit like that again. Just drop the ball.
Because you're about to get blasted. They're opening up zones, and they're like, you need 8 yards? Well, there's a zone in front of you that you can catch the ball at 4 yards, and we're going to meet you at 6 yards, and it's not going to be pretty. And you saw that all night long against David Montgomery. He was just getting mollywopped. Every time you turn around, he was just getting jacked. And I'm afraid for the kid. I really am.
Mm-hmm. You know, at this point, I think Mooney is just running for his life. I don't even think he's running routes anymore. I think he's just literally on the field running for his life.
He's running 3 9s out there. He just plays like he's faster than Tyreek Hill out there.
Yeah, he's faster than most Lamborghinis out there. He is running for his life, son. He and Anthony Miller, they're running for their life. I don't even know if your number one receiver, I don't even know if he knows what stadium he's in. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, I don't know if they should have played Allen Robinson. Even though, hey, made another fantastic catch. Please pay that man.
Amazing.
That man is playing under duress.
No. Right now, I tell you what, you couldn't even pay me. You can't pay me, boo-boo.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nope. They say during the bye week, look, Alan, we want to just make this contract. We want to get everything right with you. We're going to just make it. No, I'm not signing with you because you suck. And if I stay here, I'll suck.
Yeah.
And I'll die.
That catch he made laying out and keeping that ball in play, keeping that ball off the turf, that was
on the tips.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I mean, one of the best catches I've seen all year. I mean, because that was not a catch just on instinct. That was a catch on purpose.
Yes.
That was something he had practiced to do. He kept that ball off the turf. He kept his hands underneath the ball, kept it under control, slid out of bounds. Kudos to that young man. Somebody pay him. Somebody.
I got to say it.
You like that?
So we did like that. It was a lot going on, man. There's a lot of moving parts. We could be here for another 5 hours talking about the ridiculousness of the Bears. And it's not like it gets any easier.
Yeah.
Their next game, the Bears are in that bad zone. And we talked about the Lovey math before where they're going to lose this quarter. All right. You've already dropped 2. You're hoping not to drop 3. You still have a chance. You saw the Packers get mollywopped today by the Vikings.
They were bushwhacked.
They were getting bushwhackled.
They were getting bushwhacked. You know. So here's the weird thing about the COVID NFL. Any given Sunday, it's any given Sunday. Look at Miami. Tua Tagovailoa. That's how we pronounce his name now. Tua went out there. I think went 12 and 24 or something like that for 92 yards, and they still won.
It was bad. But his defense came in. Did you see his brother at Maryland on Saturday? Oh, my goodness. If he is there when the Bears pick, I don't even know if he's going to be available. He looked like a really good Tua.
Hey, look, let me tell you something.
Take that for what it's worth.
Yeah. Tua is a good quarterback.
Yeah. His brother looked like a better quarterback.
Tua just literally had his hip torn out of his socket, literally, and he came back to play. This is his first time under fire. You know, I just look, I'm glad the kid got out there, went, played, threw a couple of balls, got off the field, wasn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad about that because I actually like Tua. Now you got the younger Tua, the gunslinger.
Yeah, you got Lil Tua. You got Tua.
Yeah, and you got the gunslinger coming. Hey, but think about it. Just look at that Haber kid out of Oregon. Would you like to have that guy right now? What about that Patrick Mahomes? Would you like to have that guy? How about that Lamar Jackson guy? Oh man.
How about Joshy Allen? Would you like to have him?
Would you like to have Josh Allen?
Dude, I'd take a Baker Mayfield right now.
Ooh, wow, ooh, you reaching.
Look, man, he lives in a stadium.
You're reaching for Baker, man.
And he and his girlfriend live there. She's cute too. You can live there and be in the stadium and have people come and do your line every day.
I'll tell you who you want though, that Joe Burrow. That's who you want.
Oh, that's gonna be so nice.
Yes, that's who you want is that Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow.
Now, Cincinnati's probably gonna suck. They're probably gonna find a way to screw it up. But he's gonna be nicer. But you know who's gonna be real nice?
Who's that?
Is when Mitchell Trubisky goes to the Jets. He's gonna be really nice.
Look, let me tell you something. You're gonna hear it from me right now. Here is a prediction.
Uh-oh. Wait. Before we do, wait.
Everyone has to do their job. Do your job.
All right, Jay Sizzle. We're getting something hot. We're getting it on the line right now. Give it to us.
You, in the next 3 games, we're going to see a platoon of quarterbacks going on here at the Chicago Bears. We're going to see Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles trading time off. That's what we're going to see. Because Nick Foles is due to get dinged up. It's coming. And you're going to see the resurgence of Mitchell Trubisky, number 10, lining up right behind whoever's playing center that day, because we don't know who it might be. Could be Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse. Who knows? It could be anybody. Mo, Larry, or Curly. It could be anybody. We don't know who's playing center for the Bears. But Mitchell Trubisky could be lined up. And let me tell you something. Woo. That's going to be something to see. Mark what I say now. 2 more games.
This is why I can't do late night pods with you. This is why we can't do production at night. This is why you can't film when it's gotten too. Because I have to catch you before Bears game. I can't catch you after the Bears game. No. It always has to be before, like the day after, not just after. It has to be a long time.
I'm telling you, hey, Mitchell's going to make a resurgence. You're going to see, because I'm going to tell you right now, the Bears needed this football game. They needed this football game because they're going to drop the next 2. That's coming up because I think you're just not going to generate enough offense. I don't think they know how to generate enough offense. And now they're going to be going into their little trick bags. There was a reason why you saw Mitchell Trubisky show up today. You know why he showed up today? Because he wanted to show these other teams out here we might pull him out the trick bag. And all of a sudden, hey, you saw Taysom Hill, right?
You kept seeing Taysom Hill.
Right.
You just kept.
Don't be surprised if we see packages like that from Mitchell Trubisky to actually run the football. I think we're going to see some real RPO going on. I think we're going to see some Cam Newton when Cam Newton was good. Because if you get... Oh. Did you see Cam Newton when Cam Newton sucked today?
Ooh. I mean, now, granted, the Patriots almost came back and won that game.
They did.
Or was it that the Bills just were so blah with the rest of the team that they didn't even think about winning until the end of the game?
Well, it's the NFL. It's a little bit. I mean, what true teams you have outside of KC, Tampa Bay, and Green Bay, even though they got mollywopped? I mean, what other really juggernauts do you really have in the NFL right now? So, I mean, and it is literally any given Sunday right now because you don't know who's going to play this week. You have no idea.
Well, can I give you, right before we go, the Bears' next 4 games?
Sure.
The Bears are going to be at the Titans. They'll have the Vikings at Soldier Field. Then they go to Lambeau. Then then the Lions will come and meet them. And then somewhere around, let's say December 13th, the Texans come in.
You know, I can see them going 1 for 4 in that swing.
Oh, Oh, you just.
And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I just don't believe this offense. I don't see the genie coming out the bottle at any point in time. I just don't see it. I don't see all of a sudden this offensive line, who we don't even know who's playing offensive line next week. Mm-hmm. You've got a converted defensive lineman over there. You've got Rashad Coward in there. Mm-hmm. You've got Massey, who's going to be out. Whitehair is probably not going to be back. You got Daniels, who's hurt. And so now you got a bunch of guys who haven't played. Now, they're going to give it the old college try. But rest assured, guess what we have on them now that they didn't have on these guys last week? They have tape. So, you don't think that this defensive coordinator is going to say, oh, look how he's setting his right foot. Oh, okay. This is what we're going to do to him. This guy doesn't take the bull rush too well. This guy, you can fit him outside. He's going to look at him. He's overextended. There is a reason why these guys are on practice teams. Let me tell you something. If these guys could play in the NFL every day, they would be in the NFL every day. Because why do we know this? It's just what you said earlier, G Sizzle. Where are all the offensive linemen? We can't find anybody to play. That's how hard it is. That's how hard it is to play in the NFL. It's that you have guys in the NFL right now, physical specimens who cannot step in and fill in these shoes at the Chicago. You would think there's guys they could pull them in from Canada. They could get them from somewhere else.
Right, some college players that didn't get signed. Somebody somewhere, but
here's the key to it. If those guys could play in the NFL, they would already be in the NFL, and that's how hard it is to play in the National Football League. Anytime you see a big guy out here. For you little small guys out there who are going, look how you should have played in the NFL. Yeah, well, at least I could put on some pads. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I do have one more question for you.
Yes, sir.
Just one more.
Oh, no.
I'm going to be done this time. Can you see in the Jay Stradamus golden bubble of the future, can you see a future where Matt Nagy and his general manager are not with the Bears next season?
Oh, next year, out of there. Boom. Look, let me say something right now. This is a 5-3 football team. It's 5-3, right?
You're right.
6-10, pal. That's where I got them at right now. I think unless there is some form of miracle coming to Jesus moment with Matt Nagy, that if he can't figure out how to get this team to start averaging 30 points a game here on out, that they're not going to score enough points to win in the NFL, that they're going to waste this defense. There's too many snaps. I think guys are going to start falling like flies, the attrition rate, and you want to see stuff go downhill really quick, wait till you start seeing a Khalil Mack going out there. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if they don't win off this year, Khalil Mack is going to ask for out of here. He's going to get up out of here. Rest assured, because he wants to go somewhere where he has a chance to win a championship. That's the reason why he came here, because they had a chance to win a championship. All Mitchell Trubisky needed to do was be pedestrian. That's it. Don't lose ball games. What did Mitch was able to do? Either he's spectacular or he was bad. Now you have Nick Foles, old school Nick Foles. What does Nick Foles not have in front of him? An offensive line. If you put Tom Brady behind this offensive line right now, he will look just like Nick Foles. If you put Aaron Rodgers behind this offensive line right now, he will look just like Nick Foles. The only guys who have a chance behind this offensive line are the Kyler Marys, are the Patrick Mahomes, are the Russell Wilsons of the world who can get on their hobby horse, outrun linebackers, and extend plays. These are the only people right now who are behind this type, because Russell Wilson has been playing behind this type of offensive line for the last 3 seasons up at Seattle, and he's probably going to be MVP this year. He deserves to get MVP, but Russell Wilson is playing out of his mind behind a bad offensive line. This is a whole issue with the Bears. This offensive line has been bad for a long time. It's going to continue to be bad for a long time because nobody has figured out how to bring in the right type of NFL players, because they don't keep the same offensive coach and the same head coach in here long enough to figure out who they are. Look at Seattle. I mean, look at the Steelers and other teams like that who keep their coaches for long periods of time. You get opportunity to bring players into the system. You just can't keep changing coaches every 3 years.
But wait. Okay, so you're going to keep Matt Nagy for what, another 5 years?
I'll tell you what, you'll be better off. You would be better off. If you're going to keep somebody, you'll be better off keeping a system in place. You'd be better off keeping a system in place for a long period of time and bringing the players who can play that system. Let's look at the college level. They're never going to win a championship, but everybody hates playing those Navy teams and those Army teams. Right? Because they keep running that wishbone, that wing, that whatever that offense, I forgot what it's called now.
That wing team.
Whatever that is, and everybody hates it. And the reason why they hate it, because they get down into your legs, they chop guys down, guys that beat up the next day. But why does that team play that all the time? Because it keeps getting the same ball players because they know they're not going to get the guys who go to Clemson. They know they're not going to get the guys who go to Alabama. So the only way that they can stay competitive, that they can play Division I college. I don't understand. Why does the Navy just go play Division II and win Division II every year?
You would think that would be elementary.
Because
just go Division II and just ramrod your way through.
Because there's not 30,000 students at the Naval Academy every year. At least I don't think there is.
Navy, the Army, they would be great Division IIs.
So why don't they play Division II? They could win Division II. No, because part of their prestige is to go out there. They're the underdogs every game, every year, and they go out and play against these big schools, and they give them hell because they get down into their legs and they beat them up with the same system year in and year out. There's no more Roger Staubachs coming out of those teams anymore. And so now you have that, and that's why these systems work there. They're going to beat you down. Same thing has to happen in the NFL. You got to have the same systems in place. If these guys, you got to give these guys a chance. Matt Nagy had a chance, but Matt Nagy was not brave enough, and I'm going to call him out on this one. He knew Mitchell Trubisky was not the quarterback for him. When he got here, he should have blew Mitchell Trubisky up out of here.
Interesting. That's interesting. I mean, we're going to talk about it some more because you're looking at a situation where if Matt Nagy goes, you're going to have to find out. You're going to have to do this whole dog and pony show all over again. And the problem is you don't have the line. Yes, they're invested on the defensive side, but you don't have the offensive line. All of the good teams, and shout out to the Steelers. Shout out to my new brother over there. Look, man, good way to hold that team together. I want to say they're 6-0 now. They're undefeated.
Yeah.
And they've been doing the same thing the same way. So big shout out to you and the team and the Steelers because they have a phenomenal offensive line. All of these teams that are really good have one thing in common, a phenomenal offensive line.
Right. And why do they have that? Because they have the same coaches there year in and year out, teaching the same philosophy year in and year out. These guys are born, these guys live and die on these offensive lines. The offensive line stays together 7, 8, 9 years. I think the Colts offensive line, they said, if I remember, they've been playing together for 5 years now.
Yeah.
5, 6 years, those guys all lined up together. They know what each person's going to do automatically. I'm sure when they go sit down and have lunch somewhere, they sit down, the right guard sits next to the right tackle, the center's in the middle, so forth and so on.
Probably. Yeah.
The Bears right now, the Bears come into the offense. I guarantee you, the Bears come into the offensive line room and they look at each other and they go, "Who's that guy?"
So I've never seen him before. Sir, the defensive room is down it's just down the hall.
Are you the Uber Eats brother? Yeah, listen. I told you I wanted mayonnaise with no onions on this sandwich, Holmes.
Right. Hey, man, who got the Chipotle? Who got all that? Wait, man. I had an order here. Where's my Chick-fil-A sauce?
Right.
Where is my Chick-fil-A sauce?
Right. And that's what they're doing to the new guy in the room.
He's like, "Sir, I'm your new starting right guard."
Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah, all right, man. Where's the Chick-fil-A sauce?"
Right.
Seriously.
Exactly.
Where's it?
And this is why we're in the situation that we're in. A great defense, and this could be a great defense. This could be.
Yeah.
But this defense, It's not going to stay this way because they're going to get these defensive guys nicked up. And I think you're going to see a mutiny start happening on the Bears pretty soon. You're going to see a mutiny.
You've already seen it. You've seen receivers start Brooklyn brawls, defensive players just hitting people for no reason.
He was giving him the business too. The first, he snuck the first one. And
Yeah.
And
He
then
snuffed him on the first one. But that second one, he was full,
And then
watch these hands.
Right. He said, watch his hands. Well, you know, he's probably going to be on the same rap album with Denzel Valentine.
Hands of Fury.
Hands of Fury. Right. we might not win the game, but we win the fight. You know what I'm saying?
We never lost a fight because we never won a game. But if we win a game, boy, my hands is insane. Hands of Fury.
Wow.
Oh, baby.
Off the dome.
Baby. Off the top, baby.
You know, he probably talks like Damon Wayans too. You know what I'm saying? Go get some of this. I wonder if they're beefing back and forth now on Twitter right now. What do they beef on now? Reddit? What do they do? I don't know.
Yeah. They still do. They're still not the Twitter. Now they beef on Instagram. So
Instagram. The IG gangster right now.
Oh, yeah.
Next time I see you, man, I'm gonna give you another 2-piece upside your helmet.
Say this is for my homies. This is for the homies who ain't here.
Yeah. I don't know what he did.
I don't know, man. I think he probably dressed up as the last dragon for Halloween. And that's one to practice his kung fu.
Who is the master? He was being shown up.
Shown enough.
Hey,
who's the best receiver out on this field?
Hey,
show enough.
Dude, one of the greatest 10 movies of all time.
I mean, yeah.
Vanity's in it, number one. That's the first thing, all right? And that was extra fine Vanity. Rest in peace. And thank the reason that she found Jesus. Because she had been around Prince when she did The Last Dragon.
You're not gonna blame Prince for all of this foolishness.
Man, she was around Prince then. And remember when she was singing?
That was so amazingly bad.
That was so bad.
It was so amazingly bad. But she was so amazingly fine. You were just like, okay. I don't care.
She reminds you of that fine girl that was in your school or in your group. And if she just looked at you or said something to you, you had won the day. You know what I'm saying?
Your day was excellent, my friend. You come home and tell your parents, like, Mommy, I had a great day today.
If she walked by you, it's like, hey, G SIZZLE, hi. And just, excuse me. Or she touched your shoulder. She moved you out the way because you were blocking where she was going. Ooh, that was Vanity. Vanity was rough, man. And then you had Ty Mac. Do you know he still looked exactly the same? Like 30 years after that movie, he still looked exactly the same. I mean, built exactly. The same.
I still don't like him because he got a chance to be in close proximity to Vanity before I could. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay.
It's Jesus will hate. I'm sorry.
But hey, that dude, that's
trying to get over it.
That's the greatest movie of all time, man. I mean, top 10.
Yeah.
You got to put The Last Dragon. I mean, I'm gonna have to tune it up this week because it's just too funny, man. All right.
So, were you a Breaking or Beat Street dude?
I was a Breaking dude.
Okay.
Breaking.
Okay. All right. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about it. Don't hurt him with the hands.
Breaking.
Okay.
We talking about Boogaloo Shrimp. Shabba-Doo.
I don't think some of these kids don't even know what you're talking about.
I know. Shabba-Doo. Hey, come on, man. Ice-T.
Yeah. Yes.
Before he was singing Rhyme Page, before he started gangster rap, because it was Ice-T who started gangster rap. Y'all don't know that now. 6 in the morning, police at my door, fresh Adidas squeaking off the bathroom floor. Everybody knows that. All right? Mm-hmm. But he was a backup dancer. All right, in these movies. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't no stopping. Oh, and then who else? Who was the girl that was in that?
He's got to be like 70.
Who's that? Ice-T?
Ice-T has to be in the 60s.
Oh, easy. Well, let me hit the Google thing now since we're off topic right now.
The Google thing. Oh my goodness. Are you going to the Google machine?
I'm going to the Google machine. I'm Googling right now. I don't think
The Google machine will tell you.
I don't think we're supposed to be doing that. Ice-T age. Ice-T American rapper. Oh, and his wife. You know he's still with his wife. Oh, sorry, G Sizzle. I hit you with the white thing on your face again. Sorry. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. Ain't no stopping us. Ain't no stopping. Dude, Ice-T was born in 1958.
Ice-T is like 11 years older than my mother.
11 years younger.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's late.
Ice-T's like 63. Ain't no stopping. He was born in 58. I was born in 63. He's like 63 or 64. Dude. Power, Slick Rick. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was breaking? Hold on now, since we're doing stuff now. I hope you guys enjoy yourself right now.
Crush, grooving, body moving.
When did Breaking come out? I need to find this out.
I don't know which one was first, Breaking or Be Straight. I believe it was Breaking, right?
I want to say it was Breaking because I think that's the first time.
I think it was.
Breaking movie. Let me go. Let's go. Let's Google. Let's use the Google.
Well, but Jay, you got to let the people go because the people we finished talking about the Bears, didn't we?
1984, huh?
We talked about them in 1984. They were pretty.
Hey, Breaking all that 1984. That was a 1984-85 Bears. See how we tie all that in? You know, see how I'm saying
all together. It's like a Matrix.
Yeah.
We make it fit together like Voltron.
See what I'm saying? That all worked together. That's where you had Jim McMahon wearing the Pete Rozelle headband back in the day. You had Mongo, all those guys. You know,
we are the Bears shuffling crew.
Oh,
shuffling down, doing
it for you. Do you know how bold that was? They were nowhere near had won the championship, but they were already singing that song.
And that made a rap about it. It was terrible too.
It was,
but it's better than a lot of the stuff that you hear now. It was bad, but I mean, I
don't know. It was, man, that was look, dude.
I don't know. It wasn't that bad. Maybe no, it was bad. I'm trying that. I mean, there were some parts that was good, but no, I don't think it was any good.
Ain't no stopping us. Ain't no stopping. Who was in there? Hold on. Been breaking. So you had Lucinda Dickey. That's who I was talking about. That was the non-melanated lead in there.
Yes. Yes.
She was Kelly. And then you had Shabba-Doo. Right.
Yes.
And then you had Michael Chambers. He was Boogaloo Shrimp. Ice-T was in there. People don't know that. Right. And then you had a bunch of other people. You had no idea who they are.
So let me get this straight. You're telling me everybody that was in Breaking is in their 60s now.
Oh, mid-60s. Boogaloo Shrimp, all those guys are the same age.
Okay. All right.
Adolfo Quinones is Shabba-Doo. Did you see the clothes that they were wearing? Look, let me tell you something. Has anybody ever seen the Warriors before? Warriors come out and play. Hey. Everybody seen that before?
Oh, everybody's seen that.
Now, look, let me tell you something. All you tough guys out there out of California and all these different places, y'all should have seen the clothes y'all was wearing back in the day. Back in 1984, 83.
It's hard to take a gangster seriously when they're in a satin or linen jacket.
Okay, all right. Now, y'all laugh at Michael Jackson wearing the stuff he wore, but y'all was wearing some similar stuff back in the day, especially out in the West Coast.
Those headbands with it had the feather in it, or they were bedazzled. The
bedazzling was going on back then. But hey, do you remember that Beat It, the Beat It video? They had a lot of gangsters in there.
Real gangsters.
Yes,
if I'm correct, I believe they were real. In some of those scenes, those were real LA gangsters.
Yeah, there's somebody was, hey, some of them guys, man, you don't want to mess around with those guys.
And you know what?
Oh,
big shout out to Michael Jackson, because nobody ever told him that he was bad. I mean, because he really wasn't scared.
Now, here, let me break this down for you. And I know we got to close on this point.
Oh, no.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was in Breaking as a background dancing spectator.
All right. Well, on that note, look, man, you're not following the Sizzle. Make sure that when you see the Sizzle, wherever it is, make sure when you see Iron Skillet Sports, subscribe, hit the button, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, subscribe, and you get this kind of premium content all the time. We got so much coming in November. Oh, man. Listen, man, we got a hot money's getting ready to come out. We've always got James Boyd. James Boyd's going to be breaking down what's going on in the region. Yeah. And we got a few other surprises for you. So, look, November is going to be great. And
Mikes and Men's coming great. We're getting ready to start to have Mikes and Men coming out. We have another co-host coming on with that. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
And we're going to do some interviews, some things you want to hear. Yeah. And by that time, hopefully, by midweek, we'll know the results of the election. Maybe. Maybe not. Look, the last thing I'm going to say is that you got to get out and vote.
Go vote.
If you haven't voted, you'll have a chance to do your early voting tomorrow. Yeah. And then if you can't, then November 3rd, get your butt to the poll.
You waited. You could have voted 2 weeks ago. You waited. Get out there and go vote.
But it's not that bad. It really is not that bad. I'm telling you, it's not that bad.
If you get there early, and you get up and then get out, y'all good. If you're gonna sit up there and wait till the middle of the day when everybody and their father's trying to get up there, bring a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? And talk about breaking.
Yep. And then wear your little red coat and tell them that you're really not scared. You want to play before the truth or dare. Yeah, that's what you do.
You know,
if you really want to get in there, make sure you put your activator on your curl, and they'll let you in.
That girl is not my lover. If you know that I am the one. Billie Jean. Man, women have Billie Jean video came around. He was spinning around, and the tiles was lighting up underneath his feet.
And he had the tiger with no Joe Exotic. It was amazing.
I know. Right? Is Joe Exotic? Is he in jail yet?
Is he in jail yet? The question is he going to get out of jail? He's not even in a Calaboose. He's in a real prison. He's in a prison.
Oh, man. Some of the lives these people lead out here.
Oh, amazingly stupid.
Oh, man. It's amazing.
But amazingly fun. And that's what Allen Robinson says every time he looks at his locker, in his Bears locker. He says, "This is amazingly stupid. Look, amazingly fun."
Look, great catch that guy made. Tough guy coming back out there. Allen, listen to me, home skillet. There's many years of football left for you. Don't go out here and get killed out here. You know, you're gonna get paid, but they need to do it. They need to stop running you into them crossing patterns and getting you whacked in the middle of the field. They need to stop doing that.
Yeah. So that's where we're going to leave it.
Yeah.
Please don't get Allen Robinson killed. Go vote and make your voice heard. You know what it is. You know who it is. It's the Sizzle here on Iron Skillet Radio, Iron Skillet Television. We are the talk of the 219. We are the hottest talk in the 219. And we will see you on the other side.
Did you know that you can listen to Iron Skillet Radio on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Anchor? It's easy. Look for Iron Skillet Sports or #Skillet_sports for our latest episodes. We are Iron Skillet Sports.